Dare to Self-Care is an event that we put on at the Daly City Youth Health Center where we bring together youth and we have conversations about mental health stigma. We practice self-care. So in this case, today we're gonna be eating and also answering prompts and then making art around that.
We're hoping that by having a place to talk about these things, they'll feel more comfortable accessing mental health services and also implementing self-care in their own lives. A lot of our events kind of focus on practicing self-care and teaching them different ways that they can practice self-care at home so that they have some tools they can take with them after the event. Today, we are trying to envision futures in which there is less mental health stigma. So we're talking about how mental health stigma has affected us and also what we would like to see done better in future generations.
So today our goal is to give youth a voice around mental health by giving them a chance to express themselves, express kind of some of the stigmas and barriers that they have felt, as well as what it feels like when they actually are able to get mental health. We want to give them a chance to reflect on the things that they deserve to have, and also how they would like to see things be better in the future.
So we have this project where we have different prompts and then poster boards. And so each youth will get a poster board and get to decorate it and answer the prompts.
An event that's affected me, with my mental health is just access to it, I grew up not knowing that I could ask to see a therapist, that I could ask to talk to somebody about my feelings, and I just didn't know this kind of thing even existed. So just knowledge and awareness of mental health services in general. Something I'd change about mental health care is making it integrated into a regular healthcare plan. You get your shots, you get your vaccinations, you get your physical checkups. Just having, someone come in once a month, once a year, and having someone ask them, how are you? Are things okay? How are you feeling? Having just regular access to that, I feel like would be such a huge, important step in normalizing mental health.
I have a lot of friends who struggle. A lot of people just kind of keep it in. And I feel like I can not notice, but when they finally open up about it, it's kind of yeah, I totally wouldn't have known, but I also know at the same time.
Something I would change about mental health care, I'd definitely change how it's kind of shown to the public. It's something that should really be addressed early on. Let's say if I were a freshman and I were to learn about mental disabilities and what I could do to help people who have those mental disabilities, it'd definitely be easier than me learning it senior year. So definitely having mental health care be more exposed to the public would probably be one of the best things that the industry could do.
Yeah, if I could change anything about mental health care, I guess it would be the cost and like I was talking about, having more resources available in close proximity, I guess, so I'm not so having to go so far, especially because that's not doable for a lot of people, and then cost, obviously. And then I don't want to say having specialized people for different kind of things, because I personally saw a gender therapist before seeing an actual therapist, but those are two completely different things, and I know there's people who they are an all-around mental therapist, but say they're a gender therapist, meaning that, but they haven't gone through proper qualifications and stuff, meaning they can't really give you the help needed. So I guess getting those qualifications.
So in a mental health event that affected me, it's probably just from school. It was my first time ever learning about mental health, legit, with lessons and about depression, what it is exactly. Because especially in elementary school, we weren't really taught it, and all I've ever heard about mental health was from peers or from family. And during that time, it was when they were saying depression's a bad thing, and that whole stigma again. And so I finally learned for once that, oh, what I'm feeling is okay, and I'm not alone, I'm normal, right? And I have a right to feel this way. Something I changed about mental health care is, again, is to teach kids when they're younger about it, again, with the whole normalizing when you're younger with like education, just to teach them those simple things. So again, people don't get bullied. I don't want other children to have to feel that way anymore with our new generation coming up.
We're hoping that this changes stigma around mental health, and so much of changing stigma is just like making people feel more comfortable with it and talking about it and creating these safe spaces to learn and to be vulnerable, right? To say things like, I don't know, and like, I'm not sure about that. And then people are learning about it, right? And if we do this here, it's really cool because we can provide like a really safe space, and we cultivate that environment of like, it's okay to ask questions and it's okay not to know. That's how we're reducing stigma.
I think as we are striving to change stigma around mental health, it's really important to have the voices of youth at the forefront of that conversation. Those are the people we are here for. We want to make sure that we are hearing from their perspectives and making sure that they are a part of that creative envisioning process as well.
Ultimately, we want to change stigma around mental health by changing the narrative around mental health, so that it's not such a taboo thing to talk about, that it's not such a scary thing to get help for. And we want to accomplish that by creating this open and authentic space where people can speak about what they've experienced and what they'd like to have. And we hope that all of this will go into changing the narrative around that mental health stigma, around the way people talk about mental health. And we're hoping they take those good feelings and those new ideas and bring them home to their communities, their friends, their peers, and their family.